It is game day for this episode of Banditland Boulevard. Very, very important game days as we are previewing game one of the NLL Finals between the Buffalo Bandits and that's right, Colorado Mammoth. Round two between these two guys. Back-to-back seasons, we have the identical finals. Let's hope it's like the 2008 and 2009 Stanley Cup finals between the Penguins, Red Wings. Penguins win one year, and then they go back again. Red Wings win the next year. Hopefully it's that same outcome. In this case, the Mammoth won last year. We'll have the Bandits take it this year. But game one, 7 o'clock p.m. tonight at the Keybank Center. Dylan Ward against Matt Vince. Tony, how you feeling going into this one, man?
I'm not worried one bit because what we have said before in the past and in all the episodes that we've gone through for this season alone is that the Bandits have changed their game style. They have made sure that the attack first and then coast later was not working. Now Johnny T has figured it out. He figured, let's get under their skin and go toe to toe in the first half. Let's see where their weaknesses is. And then after the second half, it's gas pedal to the floor, full speed ahead, and don't look back. That's the kind of mentality that he has sent the guys this year from the difference of last year. And what we have done in this playoffs has made a statement. You win 20-8 against Rochester, and you sweep Toronto yet again in the conference final. And not only that, but you beat them up like they have no chance in hell to beat you. That's the same mentality that they have got to bring to Colorado this year, not like they did last year, and that's what cost them the finals.
And now here's the thing about this season, and the whole central theme of the Bandits 2023 season was overcoming adversity. At least that's what I think. The injury bug, they were fighting that thing the whole year. They finally get healthy at the end of the year. You see what they do, like you said before, what they did to Rochester. I mean, that was a bloody massacre, 20-8. And then the two games against the Rock were a bloody massacre.
Yes.
And now here comes the finals. And like what we said on the previous podcast was you got either Calgary or Colorado, two teams that have beaten us both twice in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So, should we really care who goes or whatever?
No.
Colorado is that team that always kind of hangs around. I knew that they had a shot as soon as they clinched that spot. But going back to overcoming adversity, I mean, we overcame adversity all season long. This is almost like the final boss. Like, if you truly want to overcome adversity, you have to beat the team that always pounds you into the ground. And that's the team that we're facing against this time. We got the Mammoth in our house. And I think in order to really bookend this amazing season that the Bandits have had already is, take down that final boss. Take down the Colorado Mammoth because you overcome adversity all season long to get to this point. Now here's the time to just put your foot on the gas and never look back. But this is the final boss, and I do have confidence just by those last three games that we've played and scoring 51 goals in our last three postseason games.
Yep.
Keep this thing going because, you have Dylan Ward at that end. And I mean, if you can score 10 or more goals on that guy, we already know what Matt Vince could bring on the defensive side for the Bandits. But if you can score 10 or more goals on Dylan Ward, I have all confidence in the world that this team could win their fifth championship in their franchise history.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, Ward and Vince are going to be at their top of their game. And you got to understand that defensively, Colorado defeating Calgary, their last game in game 3, 8-7, it was all defense. It was all who's going to make the last mistake and who's going to break down and
who's going to blink first. Take it. Yep.
And Calgary blinked, and that's why Colorado took the reins and said, all right, well, thanks for the march to the finals. We'll take it like they have been. And again, you can't overlook any team in this league, and especially Colorado and especially Calgary, because those two were all, and also have to realize this offense has woken up from God knows from whatever slacking they did the last how many weeks they were under 10, and then after that they said, okay, that's it, we've got to stop this, we've got to prove to ourselves and prove to the fans that why we're the best offensive force in the league and why we can shut down top offenses in the game. And that's what they've been doing, and they've kept teams under 10 goals each time in the postseason. Now, I'm not saying they can't do it against Colorado, which they could.
They definitely could.
It could be like one of those games where we faced off against San Diego and we won by a overtime goal.
7-6.
Right. Or 8-7. Either way. But either then, guys, we have the mentality. We have the right pieces to the puzzle. All we have to do now is let it hope it works going up against Colorado and having the offense do what they do, the defense doing what they do, and Matt Vince being an A-plus goaltender at the age of 40. And again, with all you doubters saying, nah, it's time to hang him up. He's not good. Guys, he's proven you wrong yet again.
The Matt Vince haters have been awfully silent the past month or so. And
Mm-hmm.
I've said this on previous shows, Tony, and I think I sound like a broken record a little bit, but
Yeah.
remember when I said he made that diving save against the Rock in the last regular season home game?
Yep.
Ever since then, the guy has been playing out of this world. This guy's been playing out of his mind, holding Connor Fields to what? One goal? Holding
One or two goals.
Corey Small to one goal that whole series in the two games. You know, Corey Small,
Mm-hmm.
who always scores against us, he scored one goal in two games against the Bandits.
It's
Now,
crazy.
going into the finals, we need to find an answer for Zed Williams. If we can contain him, because we're not going to stop him completely. There's no way. And at
No.
best, 2 out of 3 series, this kid from Silver Creek, New York, grew up a Bandits fan, loves to score against us, and loves to salute the crowd when he scores. I can't stand this guy. I almost just said something really bad, but
The Evgeny Malkin of hockey.
I can't stand this guy. Yeah, the Sidney Crosby, the Evgeny Malkins, whatever you want to say.
Or Jaromir Jagr. Sorry, he's the one that did the salute.
Yeah, he is the one that did the salute. But if you remember back in the days where I think Washington would wear like those black jerseys, Alex
Mm-hmm.
Ovechkin, for some reason the Sabres fans would boo him. I'm like, why are you booing Ovi? Whenever we would boo him and he would score, he would salute the fans too.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Zed Williams, if you could just contain him, like he is the Bo Jackson, he is the Barry Sanders, he is the who's the guy from Tennessee? He's the Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry.
He's the Derrick Henry. If you can contain him to 75 yards, that's a successful day for your defense. If
Yep.
you can, just don't let him get over 100, don't let him break one for a touchdown.
That's right.
In lacrosse terms, Zed Williams, hold him to 2 goals tonight. Because if he scores 2, I mean, who else is going to pick up those pieces, right? Zed Williams
Probably Eli McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, yeah, he was pretty good, but I mean, Zed Williams is that thorn that's in our side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the guy that broke the ice against the Roughnecks, scoring the go-ahead goal. He was the one, I think, who scored the insurance goal. And
Yes.
if you can contain him, I think that's step one. That's step one.
Big guy to stop.
I think that Colorado, if you can contain a guy like Zed Williams, Colorado's probably scoring around 9-10 goals. And that's enough for this offense that's completely healthy, which I haven't seen the injury report yet. I don't even know if it's been released yet. This high-powered offense should be able to score 11, 12, 13 goals on this team.
Well, I believe they could, and I'm saying that the Bandits can't. But the fact is they got to get inside Dylan Ward's head. They got to make sure they got to score low like they do against Nick Rose. Make him commit, because up top he's got both corners literally stopped, and you can't really do something spectacular. But unless you really get inside Dylan Ward's head, and I'm hoping that the crowd does that tonight too as well.
Hope so.
But we have to make sure we have to go low on Ward. That's the only way you're going to beat him, because the only way that I've watched him in the last series against Calgary, that it's either the fancy one-timer or you get close to him enough where he's got to overthink and guess, and then you just find the open spot and take the shot there, or beat him low like you do against Nick Rose. You have to get inside Ward's head quick, because of the fact is that he will be like Matt Vince on lockdown mode, and it's hard to score goals against him. So for the boys in orange and black, hear us out when I say this. Go low on Ward tonight.
And go quick.
For future. And go quick.
Yep. Go quick.
And
absolutely.
Get to those loose balls, because they will get to them quicker too.
And I've been seeing Dylan Ward, man. I compare him to Dominic Hasek. I mean, he is so freaking good. He's amazing outside. In outdoor lacrosse, he's amazing indoors.
Yeah.
When he gets behind the net and tries to get one of those loose balls, he's not afraid to absolutely lay out a forward to get that ball. I mean, he throws checks behind the net. He makes these huge saves. He runs out to try to cut off angles. I mean, you could try to go low on this guy, but if he's trying to cut off an angle, find the open guy on the other side of the net. Or there has to always be an open guy on the crease against him. I'm thinking maybe Kyle Buchanan, Chase Frazier. There always has to be somebody open on the crease. In case he tries to come out and cut off that angle, you can have a quick one-touch pass, boom, it's in the net. This guy's beatable. This Colorado Mammoth team lost what? what were they? Are they the third seed out west? Obviously,
They're
they're
the
not the
fourth, I
best.
believe.
Third or fourth. They're not the best
Yeah.
team. Teams have beaten Dylan Ward. Saskatchewan
Yes.
owns Dylan Ward. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about the Rush, but they know how to play that guy.
Give the
And
ball to Justin Robinson. That's
give
all I
the
can
ball
say. He's a former SAS.
J
He's a
Rob,
former
who's
SAS.
been
He knows him.
J Rob was on a 2 game goal streak anyway, right? Give him the
Mm-hmm.
ball, have him streak up the field and score. But this
Absolutely.
is a game where your secondary scorers have to come out tonight too. I
This
mean,
is
players
correct.
that you wouldn't expect. We saw a little bit of that last time we played Colorado in our St. Patrick's Day jerseys. We saw Carter McKenzie score. We saw
Yep.
Chase Frazier score on his first game back, and we saw Chris Kluche
Yep.
score a couple on his first game back. Um,
He needs to be big.
he does. And Chase Frazier's been great. Chris Kluche's been I don't even know the word to describe him. He's been absolutely perfect so far.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring 4 goals in the first half of game 2 against the Toronto Rock was insane to watch. But I'm talking about your Solvers, your McCulleys, Kazevnikov. If he's playing tonight, I've seen him in warm-ups, but I haven't seen him play in a while. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool to kind of throw him off course if you throw 44 in there. I think that'd be
Mm-hmm.
great. Um, it's it's hard to think of secondary scorers because everybody contributes and looks like the first string kind of guys. But
Mm-hmm.
defensively, do not give up the crease because Zed
Nope.
Williams, McLaughlin, all those guys will be standing right there to try to burn Vince. And we all know if you look at the scouting report, and I guarantee you Colorado's been watching this in the film room, it's kind of hard to find weaknesses in Matt Vince right now, but we know him as over the shoulder Vince. And if you cut off that angle at the top of the slot, what are
Mm-hmm.
the odds that they go over the shoulder? I mean, if you watch Colorado, they have a high powered offense. They use the sidearm. I don't know how it
Mm-hmm.
works every time, but it works. Very, very little do they go overhand and try to get the bounce shot. They try to go snipe, sidearm, over the shoulder, top shelf. If you cut off that angle and they have to shoot from the side, I mean, over the shoulder Vince might be irrelevant because the defense is just locking it down. They have to take bounce shots on him. And Matt Vince, usually pretty good on the bounce shot, which is the hardest stop to save in
Yep.
indoor lacrosse, or I think even outdoor lacrosse, depending on how wet or dry the ground is. If you can even get that bounce shot in there. But
Sure.
defensively, another key to the game is cut off the angle in the crease. Cut off their
Yep.
angles, have them take stupid shots.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because they're going to take every advantage every single time there's an open window to them. And like you said, with that sidearm shot to the overhand shot, it all depends on the spin and also the direction of where it's going to go too as well. And that's where both goaltenders, and I'm not saying that just for credibility to Dylan Ward, but for Matt Vince's sake, he needs to stay what he's doing. He's being focused, he's staying the course, and he's making sure that he talks to his defenders in front of him to let them know that he needs to see them. And then when he can, he will make that save for you. But also, we got to make sure that all the defense is on the same page. Steve Priolo, the captain of our defense and our captain of our team, needs to make sure things don't happen, like mistakes happen often. They can be one or two. Like
Same
maybe
goes
if
for
you
Bryce Sweeting. Same goes for
right,
Bryce Sweeting too. Yep.
right. I agree. So with that being said, with Robinson back in the lineup, I mean, he was shaky. What was it? The last game against Toronto in
Yep.
Toronto, he got a little banged up, but
He should
we'll
be
see how
fine.
that goes.
Yep.
But really, guys, play your game. You have it locked down. You should be able to win this without no trouble.
And you know what?
That's just my opinion.
I know that the boys in the stripes are going to be a factor in some way,
Oh
shape, or
God,
form.
please don't let's start with the Stripers.
They were horrible last game against Colorado, but that wasn't the reason why we lost. We know that they're going to try to poke at you. They did last time. There were 2 fights last time we faced against the Mammoth, and both were ass whooping. I mean, it was Steve Priolo beating down on someone, and then it was freaking what's his Brad McCully. I don't even remember who it was. It's Josh Sullivan, maybe, ripping his helmet off, causing him to bleed all over his jersey that he went to go auction off later. I mean,
and that's a ruling too. We got to make sure because that he changed jerseys, but he kept the same number of another player, and that's something that they have to look to.
yeah,
They got to make sure
I
that they
forgot
have
about
a
that
different number.
too.
They got to have a different jersey number or have another prepped one ready to go for them. I mean, that's a ruling that we all were questioning last year, and that's another thing we got to look for this
They
year.
had 2 fours on the field.
like that.
Was it?
No, it was 32.
32. They had 2
32.
players wearing number 32. Isn't that that should have been a minor penalty of something? Like I know there's a penalty. It's like illegal. I don't know if it's like illegal use of uniform or like illegal substitution or something like it's got to be a bench
Something like
liner,
that. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Has to be.
But I was sitting up there in the 300s like, why are there two of the same jersey? Is it the same player who just
Right.
like,
One without the last name on it and the other one with the last
yeah,
name
it
on
was
it. And I'm like,
stupid.
how can you have two same numbers on the same field? You can't. That's
Right.
illegal.
But I mean, we showed last time that we owned them in the physicality department, but they owned us where it matters the most and on the
Yeah.
scoreboard. And that's something that has to change going into this game. But
Right.
I think if you stay out of the penalty box, which is
Tough.
manageable, it's manageable because we did that against the Rock in game two. Game one, we were sort of all over the place in the first half and
Mm-hmm.
inside the penalty box.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them were BS calls, in my honest opinion, but that's what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto started to take stupid penalties in the second half of that series, which I didn't have a problem with whatsoever because what we have two major power plays, and then we
Yes.
scored 3 goals off of those two major penalties, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think what we have to do is this is about our shots. A huge key about our shots is do not wait, just like what we did last year or the
Mm.
year prior. I mean, we're going all the way back to 19, right?
Oh boy.
Don't wait till
Mm-mm.
7 seconds or below to shoot
Mm-mm.
the damn ball,
Yep.
especially against Dylan Ward. If you have an
Yep.
open lane with 16 seconds, I don't give a crap. Shoot the ball and then get that rebound if you have to. If it's there, scoop it up. Scoop with two hands. It's like sometimes when the Bandits lose games, it goes back to
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals. The fact that they can't scoop a ball out of the corner because they're scooping it up with one hand or they're raking
Yeah.
it. Two hands to scoop it, reset the clock, get more shots off. Find the open
That's
man in
right.
front of the net. You have these big guys in front of the net that are screening Dylan Ward. I mean, he's not perfect. They finished what, fourth out west? He's not
Yeah.
perfect. He's not
He's
automatic.
not.
You have to go in with that mentality, knowing that he's beatable, but take timely shots. Don't wait till less than 5 seconds to shoot the ball because that's going to burn you. You did that
That's
against the
correct.
Rush in 16. You did it uh, against the Roughnecks in 19, and you did it against the Mammoth in 2022. And what did it do? It bit you.
Yeah,
So
you can't
take
hesitate.
smart shots.
Yeah, you can't hesitate. I think going back to the 2019 finals in Calgary, I do actually remember, and this is not to bring an old player back, but Sean Evans was very hesitant at the time where he had a lot of control, but he wasn't thinking fast. He
He was a
was
ball
always
hog
going,
too in
he
that
was like
series.
he was always thinking to himself, where do I go? Who do I pass to? Or should I just take the shot? Your first instinct, take the shot. No matter where you are, just take the shot. Anything can be possible if you shoot the damn ball. Look what we
Especially
did.
if you bounce it. Especially if you
Yes.
bounce it.
And look what happened when we basically talked to Chris Kluche a few weeks back, says, start shooting the damn ball. Look what he's done. He had a 4-goal one night, sock trick the next night. What more can you ask? That's what we want to see out of a player that has confidence not only in themselves, but also proving it to the fans that says, hey, I'm a goal scorer too. I don't have to rely on Dane Smith or Josh Byrne to do all the work. I can do it too. And that's the same thing we ask from every single player on that team. Look at Ian McKay, another player, another
Amazing.
stud who has stepped up on the offensive side after Byrne was out for a while, Chase was out for a while. Who was the next guy to go to? It was Dane, then who? It was Ian McKay.
Who can
McKay
play
stepped up
offense
and played
and
good.
defense?
Him.
Yep. I mean, he's that
Transition as
guy.
well. He's all over the place. He's like that all-around player you need on your team. And these guys better start thinking too as well, is that who they should resign for next year to keep this kind of championship dynasty going. Because I feel like this is our year. I hate to predict this stuff early, but I got a feeling in my heart and in this gut, it's gonna be our season. This is it. If you don't prove it now, then what? You're going to keep going to the finals and then keep losing? No. It's make a stand right now, make a statement right now, and tell these guys Colorado is no longer a thorn in your side. Calgary will no longer be a thorn in your side. Anybody from the West is no longer a thorn in our side. You have to go in there, says, you know what? I'm going to be the Ric Flair. I'm going to be the man. You got to beat the man. That's what you got to basically tell yourself. And go in there. Not only did you win last year, game one at home, but when you go to Colorado,
you had a 2-goal lead in the fourth quarter of game two. That's the thing that sucks. Yep.
Right. You got to maintain that. I got to keep going. It doesn't end until that final buzzer. That's what you guys got to think is that now from going back, You were aggressive first, and then you coasted. Scratch it. It's out of your mindset right now. It is now figure out your opponent's weaknesses in the first half and then go and kick their ass in the second half. That's the basic mentality you got to go do that has been working this whole year. Do not change what you don't need to fix. And that's the mentality the Bandits have to go into tonight and then going to Colorado Monday on Memorial Day. And then, if possible, come back home
Hopefully
that
not.
Saturday
Hopefully
and
not.
clear it out. But we don't want that. We want it 2
1
and done.
2.
That's it.
1-2 punch.
That's it. 1-2 punch. Let's end this and let's move on being known as the next champions of the National Lacrosse League.
And I got a couple things to piggyback off of what you just said. Number one, you should be absolutely freaking pissed off of what happened last year.
I'm fired up.
If we're pissed off as the fans, imagine the players. I mean, we have pretty much the same roster outside of Connor Fields coming back against this team, and Kevin Burnell, maybe a couple other players. But they remember, Brad McCulley was telling us on the interview, he really wasn't starting. He was up in the press box for most of the playoff games. Watching that crap, he wanted to punch a wall. This time, he gets to actually go onto the field and start and contribute in the finals. If we're pissed off as fans, imagine how that locker room feels. Just remember how bad you felt after winning game 1 and then dropping the next 2, including a fourth quarter 2-goal lead out in Denver.
Out west, yep.
Imagine how they feel right now. You have to go into this game pissed off. We always say, like, tuck the losses in the back of your mind, whatever. This is a time to kind of relive that. Remember how this felt? Yeah, you might want to beat them this year so you don't feel that again. Revenge is the sweetest of all candies, and they need to eat that revenge going into tonight's game. Also, I've said this before, number 2, all it takes is one more championship. We get one title, this team, I have the confidence, will take the road and really just start pounding in these championships, because once you win that one, and this is the first one since 2008 if we win it, the floodgates are going to open. This team will turn into a dynasty. This team will be a dynasty. All it takes is that first one since 2008. The floodgates are going to open. I'll have confidence every single season that they'll be right back here in this position, and they're going to take the reins and go 6-time, 7-time, 8-time champions until the league has an answer for the Buffalo Bandits. But all it takes is one. Open the floodgates. This team will be a dynasty. But remember how you felt last year? And just remember the potential. If you win it this year, look at the future. You're going to have these star players, star free agents that want to say, hey, this team over here, I might want to do a little ring chase, and I might want to play for the Bandits, the best place to ever play / watch a lacrosse game. You're going to get some of the attention of the upcoming free agents, some of the big stars that might want to come to Buffalo if you can't bring back any of your other stars. Winning heals all wounds. Win it this year. I don't care how you do it.
Yep, basically, like you said, Trevor, that's what it'll do to heal the wounds and take away the pain. But we also have to realize is that last year still is in the back of our heads, and it's still going to haunt us until you finally fix it. It's up to the boys in the orange and black to actually make that happen. All we can do as fans is stand by you guys and have your backs the whole way. Like Dane Smith said in his video, we need you to be loud and proud for us tonight, and I promise you we'll do good things for you. It's that mentality. That's all they ask for is us as fans is to support them, cheer for them, and never be negative about anything. It's that be positive about the things to come, and what should be back in Buffalo is a championship trophy that we all can say, hey, we are now going to be known as the 5-time
we'll be like Booker
National
T.
Lacrosse League champions.
We'll be like Booker T. 5-time champs.
That's it.
That's what we got to do.
We can do. That's all we got to do.
I think with that said, Tony, I think we need to go into our key players to watch.
Yes,
start off with Colorado. I already said it. Zed Williams. I mean, the dude's an absolute menace. And I said before, if you can contain him, it does wonders for you. Dylan Ward.
Right.
Yes, he's my number one, probably my number one player to watch. If you have an answer for Dylan Ward, there's no question in my mind that you sweep the series. If you can find his weakness and exploit it in both games, it's over. It's over. So Dylan Ward, McLaughlin too, I guess. I mean, he's always that sneaky guy in the crease, right? Who always finds a hole in the defense somehow. And they sometimes thread the needle, find him wide open, and he scores. But you can name so many key players to watch for the Bandits. So let's do that. This is a Bandit show. I'm not giving the Mammoth any love right now because, quite frankly, I cannot stand that team at all. So let's go with the Bandits. Key player to watch for me. Number one, Chris Kluche. I mean, this
Yes.
guy is absolutely on fire. He scored 6 goals last game. He was
Hmm.
averaging 1 goal every 10 minutes last game. 6 goals in 60 minutes. He was averaging 1 goal every 10 minutes. I think this guy, now we did have a mini break in between. It was
Hmm.
good because we had, our Chase Frazier's and our Justin Robinsons and our Ian McKays heal up, rest up, feel good. But hopefully that momentum did not get squashed for the amount of goals and firepower that Chris Kluche brought to the team.
No, I don't think it's going to slow us down or that week off that we had. That week off is probably what they needed, is that to get mentally prepared, and also for the fact that, like you said, they needed to heal. And that's another thing that they have to also watch out for too, is to make sure that they're 100% ready to go against, again, a rematch from last year's series. And they also have to make sure, just to bring up some players that you forgot to mention for Colorado, is Ryan Lee is another guy.
Oh
You
yeah,
also got to watch out for him to be sneaky behind the net, to do that behind the net kind of swoop in goal.
the
And
Gary Gate goal. Yep.
yeah, that's basically what he does best, is that he follows after Gary Gate and he knows exactly what to do for the Colorado. Now, for the Buffalo side, you got to look at what I've been saying all season, is the defense and the goaltending, is that you got to shut down the high-powered offense, like you said, Zed Williams, McLaughlin, E. Robinson, Ryan Lee, all those guys that can score for Colorado. Defensively, you play smart, you stay with your guy, you be their shadow, you don't give him a chance to shoot, you keep him outside where Matt Vince can see it. End of story. Should be a nice game for the defense and for the goaltending. And before we go into our score predictions, I just want to say there is one other player for the Bandits that we should watch out for, and that is going to have to be our Fogo guy. Max Adler
Yep.
needs to be on his game this whole series, like he was sort of last year, but he needs to be better this season. And he knows for a fact that after all what he's done from last year to now, he knows the best face-off guy is going to be staring across him before that whistle goes, and he needs to be the better Fogo guy in this series.
And this is a guy who really had no intentions on playing indoor lacrosse ever. The Bandits
Nope.
signed him out of the PLL because they're like,
Correct.
we are so desperate because our faceoffs were so bad in the first half of last season. I mean,
Yes.
we were like relying on Chase Frazier, hoping he would win like 30% of the faceoffs. That just wasn't happening. And they bring him in and he's like, hey, you want to try out with the Bandits? Because we need a guy, a face-off, get-off guy. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, sure. He's been doing wonders for this team ever since last year. And last week, 2 weeks ago in game two,
Mm-hmm.
this dude was absolutely amazing. What was it, like close to 70% or something like that?
Yes.
It was
Yes.
crazy. If he could get 50 tonight, possessions are everything. I know I have so much confidence in this Bandits defense, but if you
Mm-hmm.
win more faceoffs, you give your offense more opportunity to shine, more opportunities to try to find an answer for Dylan Ward.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind. That gives you less time to give Zed Williams the ball, more time for us to put the ball in the back of the net. He's a big player to watch right now for sure. And obviously, you got your Dane Smiths who, I mean, he's overdue to have like a 6 or 7 goal night. Josh Byrne, who's been absolutely on fire. Chase Frazier, who's been great as well. Ian McKay, who's been fantastic as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could go through the whole roster right now. And the physicality
Yep.
that this team brings every single night, I don't know. But I think my key player I mean, honorable mention is Matt Vince. He's been out of this world amazing too. You got Chris Kluche, you got Max Adler, and you got Matt Vince. I think those are the three key players to watch in three key positions:
Yes.
offense, face-offs, and goaltending slash
Mm-hmm.
defense, I guess you can say. But I
Yes.
could go through the whole roster and say the whole player to watch, but they just got to play their game. That's all they have to
That's
do.
it.
All they got to do is play their game. So with that said, let's go with the score predictions tonight. Unfortunately, I
Okay.
cannot make the game, but I will be firing it up on the radio broadcast on WGR Sports Radio 550. I'll be listening to the game while I work,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully praying for big things, but score prediction tonight. See, Colorado beat us 13-8 last time. Regular season game gave us our second or third loss of the season, I'm pretty sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think the Buffalo Bandits go into tonight's game. They find an answer for Dylan Ward. It's going to be close because we know that this team has the chance to dominate us like they have in the past. And we really haven't shown that we could really dominate them. So it's going to be very close. I'm going to say the Buffalo Bandits take game one by a final score of 11-9.
Okay. Well, with that being said, and how you said it was going to be close, I've got a feeling they are going to play more of a pissed off role, and they're going to play strong for for Banditland, especially tonight, and if God forbid necessary for three. But we both don't want that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and for how loud it's going to be tonight at the Keybank Center, my score predictions. Get ready for this, folks. Bandits 15, Mammoth 9.
I would love
We're
that.
going to make sure that they
Put up a
stay
TD
under
on
the
them.
10 goals, and we're going to make sure that they know our offense is capable of kicking Dylan Ward's ass all over this league.
And all you have
And
to do is give them like a humbling loss, put some doubt in their minds. Let them be their own worst enemy.
Scare the shit out of them.
If you could score 13, 14, 15, 16 goals, and then really hold them to under 10, that is going to shoot their confidence going into game 2, which is it's a 2 o'clock start in Colorado time, Mountain time for Memorial Day.
4 o'clock for us.
4 o'clock for us. But can you imagine kicking the piss out of them in game 1, and then they have to fly all the way back and prep for an afternoon game on Monday? I mean, this game 1 is so important. It's not like last week where you had a Saturday, and then a Saturday if necessary.
Correct.
You have a Saturday and then a quick flight and then a Monday game. And then you have next Saturday for game 3 if you have it. But this is how important game 1 is. If you punch them in the mouth, they only have 2 nights to recover from that, and then they have to prep for an afternoon game. This game 1 is so important to get on the right track, to go up 1-0 in the series, close the casket in game 2. That's all you have to do.
I agree. That's all we can do and all we can hope for. But we got to take one game at a time. We need to get by game 1 first, and we got to make a statement for every game we play against them, no matter if it's a 1-2 knockout punch or if it's all 3 if we have to take it necessary. But we got to make a statement like we have this postseason. Our offense has been tough, our defense has been strong, and our goaltending has been phenomenal. That's what we got to keep in our minds. But also, we also like to thank our sponsor, and that is going to be Mitchell's Tavern at 734 Sheridan Drive up in Tonawanda, New York. If you guys all want to go check out the best beef and wick in town, which is in Tonawanda, according to them, is going to be go out there and try their food, amazing service. Mention us boys in the Banditland Boulevard. Obviously, Trevor Hauer and myself, Tony LaMonica, aka Boxhead 98TL.
Right.
For the best food that you guys want to check out, go check those. Check out Mitchell's Tavern. Also, we'd also like to thank you, YouTube viewers, for watching us here live. You got to finally see our faces. This is who we are. We'd like to see you guys give us that like and subscribe, and just give us a follow. Just for more content, and also to check out our videos about Buffalo Bandits lacrosse. Now, we also like to thank our listeners, too, especially on Spotify.fm and Anchor, for giving us that 5-star rating and all of those. We appreciate those who have been listening to us on every device possible. But guys, again, you fans need to, I got to just say this, Trevor, and this is coming from the heart. Don't be afraid to ever come on this show. We'll be more than happy to allow you to come on, ask your questions if possible, and then we'll give you the best intel that we can possibly say. Obviously, we're not all we're not perfect. We don't know everything exactly. So if you have maybe a stat in mind that we could both we could talk about or whatever, please come on, join on. Let's get on board here and then get noticed. That's the case.
And for the fans that are going to the Keybank Center tonight, that are lucky and don't have to work from 4:30 to 11, be loud. I want to see 19,070 seats. I want to hear that. I want to hear John Gertler on WGR say, "This is a sellout 19,070." That's what I want to hear. So you guys got to be loud. Get inside Dylan Ward's freaking head. This guy's human. He's not a robot. He has weaknesses. Get inside his head and make him scared to play in Banditland.
Yep. And guys, for those of you who are going to the game tonight and you see me in section 119, I want that whole side or everybody to get on Dylan Ward's case. And we are going to chant up like we have against Ryan Hartley, against Nick Rose, and now it's Dylan Ward. You're the next victim. Sorry, buddy. Not sorry. It's going to happen tonight.
It's like that old meme where it shows death knocking on the door and then there's blood spilling out. Yeah, you got Rochester, whose door's already open, blood coming out. Toronto, got blood coming out, doors open. And now death's just knocking on the door of the Colorado Mammoth. Hey, answer the door. Answer the door. I got a nice pickaxe or whatever death carries around
Yes.
for you. All I gotta do is touch you and you're done. But
That's it.
Bandits, Mammoth, game one, 7 o'clock p.m. Keybank Center. I'm pretty fired up for this one.
So am
Get your
I.
I think tickets are still available at the box office. I don't know. I saw Scotty Loeffler say that it was closed one day, or if it wasn't. Hopefully, you guys already have your tickets, but it's
That's
going to be
right.
a big game. And Tony, I think we only have 3 words to say to the viewers right now before this game.
Yes, we
Ready?
do. Yes.
Let's
Let's
go
go
Bandits.
Bandits.
Let's go.
Let's freaking go.